I am Hatonn, and I am now with this instrument. We feel that he now feels more comfortable and that the signal we mentioned will be felt by him in our attempt to contact this instrument. We are aware that this signal is somewhat similar to the way in which this instrument receives our brothers and sisters of Lados, but we feel that our signal will be somewhat stronger and will not be confused when used. We are Hatonn. We are more than grateful and happy to work with those who wish to be of service as vocal channels, and with any who wish our help of the deepening of their meditation in their search to become more aware of the love and the light of the infinite Creator. My friends, to speak to you for what to you has been a long period of time has been a great source of joy and of learning for us. We feel privileged that you request us so often to hear the message that we have, the message that is always the same. But always a new facet is shown that you may take each one and study and meditate upon it and add it to the others you have seen and become aware that by summation of the parts you may see that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts can ever be. The love and the light of the infinite Creator is beyond meaning that your language can give, beyond that we or you now see. You become aware in your vision of only a small part of that light and love, but as with all things in your illusion, beyond the first step needs to be taken, the choice must begin to be made, the path chosen. Now take what may be said to be equivalent to your first baby steps, the first few steps along the long but joyous path back to the one. Remember always that there is ever so much more to learn than you can see in your illusion. Your perception is limited by a physical vehicle and by the amount of your mental faculties that have been activated. But you shall know, you shall learn, you shall be aware. Take your steps carefully, and if you stumble and fall, be not proud and refuse the help of others. If help is needed, allow them to help you, to stand once again that you continue to take the small but important steps. You are not alone, as we are not alone. There are countless kindred souls who reach out, who wish to help, who wish to give. They are not too proud to receive. They are with you, brothers and sisters. We are known to you as Hatonn, but also as brother and sister, as friend, as student, as teacher, as all those things that you want, that we all want. We rejoice with you as you step, to each as you go about that step. We now close. Adonai, my friends. Adonai Vasu Baregas. I would like to say a few words on the subject of laughter and humor. Next to love, nothing will lighten your burden as much as laughter and humor. It is similar to sunshine. When you are dreary and have grave thoughts, laughter can brighten your outlook. It will help you not to be so tense. If you can laugh about yourself and your situation, you will not become so serious that you could even be depressed. It is a good gauge for judging your balance. People who can laugh never become too depressed. In retrospect, people can laugh about their problems, but if they laugh at the time they are happening, they are able to see that the problem is not as serious as they might take it. Laughter changes your whole being. It sets you on an even keel and makes everything about you work well. Laughter is as good as vitamins. It tunes and tones up your whole system. Laughter is next to love. We have observed your group with some humor as we attempted to speak through each of you, for each was unwilling to be an instrument due to the concern that the channeling would not be enough advanced for an advanced group. My friends, do not take yourselves too seriously. A carpenter may learn to drive a nail with 10 blows, then 6, then 3, and then 2, but he is still making a floor. When you were beginners, my friends, you were making a floor, a foundation of communication between the messengers that surround your planet and those upon the surface of your planet who have a desire at this time to seek beyond the illusion that this planet's culture offers. When you had gained some experience, you continued building that floor, and now you seek to become better carpenters. But, my friends, you are still attempting the same task. The message will forever be that which is designed by the Creator, to be made available to those within your density for the purpose of encouraging their seeking. In order to improve the ability to drive the nail, we shall begin a story through this instrument, and rather than finish it through one instrument, we shall several times change our instrument, and through several, tell one story. My friends, there was once a great kingdom beneath the sea. Beneath the green waters and the sand lay golden doors. And some beings there were who under enchantment could enter that majestic world. In this world, my friends, there was no aging. There was no work. There was no ugliness or lack of any kind. All were beautiful. Each meal was a banquet, the only drawback being that the entities of this enchanted land could eat nothing. All was laid for the people. That which others could taste, select from, was denied. People found that though all was theirs, save this one thing, could not find contentment or peace, for they could not have this one pleasure. Those who had lived within the kingdom for some time tried to ignore this thing. They went about their lives with one part missing. But for some, that which they did not know became ever heavier on their minds. The people reacted to their difficulty in many ways. Some chose to respond in anger, choosing at first to blame one another for their deprivation. Others chose to feel within themselves antagonism toward the deprivation itself, and sought to destroy all that was associated with the untouchable, the unattainable. Others elected to attempt to forget that which they seemed unable to control. It became an accepted practice as time passed among these people, to ignore that which lay before their eyes, to pretend that it never had existed, and to belittle any reference on the subject as mythical, as childish fairy tale, as something absurdly illogical. For if it were true, they said, would we not all see it? Years passed. Generations grew to maturity, died, and left to their children many stories of the forbidden and mythical prohibition. Entities soon came to feel a great confusion concerning this almost forgotten tale of the great banquet set before their ancestors which could not be had. And then there arose from time to time among these people the few entities who spoke of having some knowledge of this food. Their speakings were largely ignored. Some, however, felt a type of kinship for what was spoken, perhaps because they had retained childish ways, said many. Yet, did some knowledge continue to grow, and word spread on occasion that there was indeed such a banquet, and indeed were means known to some for partaking in its plenty. After much persuasion, one of these who knew of the means of partaking of the banquet was able to bring others to the appointed place where such a banquet was said to have been many, many years past. To the great surprise of all present, magically a banquet appeared. One reached eagerly for the delicious food, but as he touched it, it vanished. One who said he knew the means for taking of this reached out and picked a piece of fruit from the table, held it in his hand, and gave it to the one that so eagerly reached for the vanished fruit. Amazed, he ate it. This entity, tasting the delicious fruit, took the example of the first and offered food to another, and that third offered it to a fourth, and so on until each at the table, in feeding each other instead of themselves, was satisfied. For no food had ever been so delicious, so luscious, and so delectable. My friends, those who seek dive in deep waters, and very quickly a golden door is opened unto them. All about the seeker who is in meditation there is glamour, there is nothing but beauty. In meditation, the seeker can look, can explore, can walk the universe, and every activity is wonderful. But, my friends, as the seeker does this, he has not yet found the fruits of his seeking. Each who finds himself beginning to reach the table soon finds that as an entity, they are not alone. As each gets closer, we find that to truly reach forward, they need to share that which has been found. Each does so in their own manner. Each who has received will find the giving is indeed more fulfilling. My friends, each of you by now is aware of the fact that your own craving for spiritual sustenance cannot be satisfied by yourself alone. Each of you has chosen a path upon which your own sustenance is derived from the sustaining of others, that your own growth occurs as a result of the efforts of others. Consider for a moment, my friends, that structure which you call a pyramid. It is composed of a number of massive, powerful, unyielding blocks of stone, each of which to the observer is quite impressive, but each of which, my friends, is but form without function when standing alone. For it is only when each stands upon the shoulders of his other selves that the form is produced through which their purpose may be accomplished, through which their service may be performed. My friends, be aware that your sustenance comes to you as a result of your efforts to assist and sustain your brothers as they grow and change. Each of you must perform his or her tasks without the expectation of receiving the fruits thereof, for the fruits of service belong to another, and the fruits of their service, my brothers, will belong to you. Your journey as seekers is indeed one which must be pursued in solitude within the deepest portions of your being. And as you travel this path you shall find that there is a greater responsibility which shall be necessary for you to assume in the sharing of the fruits which you find on that inward journey. The seeker cannot be aided in such a manner that work is done for it. Yet, as it travels this path and removes the distortions which separate it from understanding, there must needs be a sharing of this growing fruitfulness, else the path shall not be able to be continued. For this path, though traveled in solitude, is one which unites the seeker with all, and the reflection and manifestation of this unity then requires the seeker to go out into that world which is hungry and naked, sick and poor, to point out the direction to sustenance, clothing for the soul, and the support of creator to creator. In the world of the meditative journey, my friends, it is so entrancing that it is like some siren beckoning sailors from their course. It can be pursued endlessly, and all experiences are good. Never forget, my friends, the one thing that is missing in that kingdom beneath the waters of your illusion in the enchanted land where the illusion gives way to the first view of reality. That one thing, my friends, is the creation. To reach for it is to lose it. If you reach in solitude, to offer it to another is to manifest it, and in the world of manifestation does the enchantment become food and drink of the spirit. May we thank you for having this opportunity to work through each of you. We leave you in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. I am Hatonn. Adonai, my friends. Adonai.